Hello everybody, so today we are planting another crop. So what we're doing today, we are broadcasting stubble turnip seed, and where we're putting it is this is last year's fodder beet ground. Now you may remember not that long ago on a Vintage Thursday we were harrowing wheat seed into this field. So why are we planting, or why are we putting fresh seed on? The wheat was an absolute failure, and it went in May. Although the video's not long been out, it went, it all happened a month ago. So it went in just past the middle of May. It went into a dry seed bed, and it didn't have any rain, and it was a total write-off. The birds, as you can see, the birds really hammered it, and it just didn't come to a viable crop. So although the crop got destroyed, we had a good flush of weeds come on. So back end of last week, we sprayed off those weeds in the hope of some rain coming, and we would be able to get this stubble turnips in. So we were very lucky this morning. We have had 16 millimeters of rain overnight. So we thought, right, today's the day, it's got to get on, it's got to go in now. So Dad has been up here this morning, power harrowed out that failed wheat crop and the weeds, and then we come in and we are broadcasting the stubble turnips onto the seed bed. And I have to say, we have a much nicer seed bed now than what we had for the wheat, and there's moisture underneath it. So you might just see on the end of the bonnet, I'm not sure if the camera's seeing it or not, but we are using today our light bar guidance thing and the on-track system. We did a full video on this last year with fertilizer spreading. This is the first time I've ever used it. I have to say, I'm actually following my old wheel marks more than I'm following the lights. I don't entirely trust it. Although there is some high voltage power lines crossing the field, and it does seem to be going a little bit better now we're not underneath them. So whether that affects the GPS signal, I don't know. Yeah, but we're following it on the phone, so I've got the screen here and lights on the front, and the lights are way off, telling me I'm way wide now, but I can tell I'm not. And we are getting a bit on the screen showing we're missing a big strip, and I know we're not, because I'm parallel with the wheel tracks from last time. So as you can see, the pale green is what I've not covered. The dark green behind the tractor is what is covered, and you can see it's telling me I'm leaving a big strip, but in reality I'm not. If anything, I'm slightly overlapping too much. I'm certainly not missing what it tells me I'm missing. And this is the machine that is doing the planting. So this is a grass seed box made by Alban Blanche, which is a Wiltshire company. I think they're still trading in the grain drying and processing industry. Back in the old days they used to make these grass seed boxes. So what it's got in here is it takes drive from PTO drive, and in the box there's a lot of little brushes that revolve on a shaft, and those brushes brush the seed out from these holes that we can change from little hole, medium hole or big hole. So that's how we set our seed rate. It is very hit and miss. At the start of the field, down the far end, we were putting a little bit too much on. The seed was going through too quick, so we shut back on these little holes. So like we just saw, this is our seed, very, very tiny stubble turnip seed, untreated. It's just a naked seed, and the variety is Rondo. Okay, if that means anything to you. It's just, we haven't selected a variety on any kind of trait. It's a variety that Mole Valley had in stock, so that's what we bought. So this is what we've covered. You can see the tracks up and down, and let's try and find a seed. So here is our seed bed, much nicer than what we had for that wheat that we put in, and as you can tell, plenty of moisture in there. Let's find a seed. There's one, they're very small. Another one, and I'm beginning to wonder Are we actually putting enough on? Because they're so hard to see. Are they going to be thick enough? They look in the tractor marks, they are a bit easier to see, and they do look a bit thicker. Like I said, the trouble with the broadcaster or the seed box, it is very hit and miss with your seed rate, and I'm starting to now wonder if we're putting enough on. And we did just do a test drive when we first started, and they looked okay. So I did between the hedge and the pole, and we used a little bit too much seed there. But now I'm wondering if we got enough in. But anyway, let's see how we get. See what seed we've got left when we get to the end of the field. We can go over a bit more if we need to, just to put it a bit thicker. We're aiming for about 2.5 kilos to the acre, so it's not a lot anyway. But there's a lot of seeds in 2.5 kilos when they're that small. So this grass seed box would be an ideal use for the 35 with its ground speed PTO. So then the brushes in the box would turn in relation to the forward speed of the tractor. And the reason we're not using the 35 today, the original plan was Dad was going to power harrow this, which he's done. I was going to come and start putting the seed in, and then he would bring the 35 up and get our old seed harrows again and harrow the seed in. So that is why I left the 35 at home and brought this up to put the seed in. Since then we've decided we're not going to harrow it, we're just going to broadcast it and then roll it. So we are using the wrong tractor really, but you know, we make plans and very rarely stick to them, so plans change, that's what happens. So yeah, this will get rolled in probably tomorrow. Just let the top dry off a little bit, and then hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed. There's certainly enough moisture down there now. Whether we're going to get any more rain coming or not, I don't know. It is turning into a repeat of last summer where we had no grass at all. So not only has the dry start caused the failure of this wheat crop, it didn't give the fodder beet a very good start. Where the beet germinated, it's looking good, but where it didn't, there's a lot of gaps. And also the grass field next door, which is always our first one to burn up, has started burning off, as you can see. Yes, you can see the thin soil. You can see the patches where the soil is very thin. Has already started to turn off brown. So not only did the fodder beet get off to a bad start, we have delayed spraying it because of the dry weather. In times of drought like we are in now, So the leaves of the weeds we're trying to spray out, they get like a waxy coating on, protecting themselves from the heat and the dry, and that also protects the leaves from the spray. It stops the spray being taken in. So we haven't sprayed it yet. Now we've had this bit of rain, hopefully we can get on and spray it. But the plants, or the weed plants, are now far more advanced than we would like, and they're probably too old now for the spray to have any real effect on them. So we were thinking amongst ourselves this morning, when did we last grow stubble turnips? And we can't actually remember. We used to put some in every year, usually reasonably close to the yard, to make it handy for grazing for the cows, so they could go out in the morning, have their feed, and then go off to the grass. Because you can't, they can't have pure turnips, they need some grass as well. So it was handy to have the turnips near the yard, and then the cows would go off for the day. Part of the reason we stopped growing them, and we went to more of a paddock type grazing system. So they went to a different field after every milking, and it wasn't always convenient for them to go to the turnips and then maybe back on themselves to go to the grass. So that's probably the main reason we stopped. So where we're planting these, it is not close to the yard, it is quite a way away, so it's not going to be convenient for feeding to the milking cows, but we have got heifers and beef stores, so it will get utilised in one way or another, but it won't be quite as convenient as it was when we planned it out properly, and we always in those days put it in kind of April time, and it would be getting close to feeding now when we needed it, when the dry weather comes. So there we go, this is the final run of the headland. All that's left to do now is roll it in. So I would say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it grows. We will let you know. Just like we did with the wheat. We told you that was a failure. Hopefully this isn't going to be a failure. Time will tell. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.